So who is Lloyd Nicks? That's a loaded question. This is actually my childhood home. So many feelings come into mind when I think of this place. I remember being a chubby kid and my stepfather would try to help me lose weight, force me to lose weight. And after school, I remember being so embarrassed because he would have just had me run laps and laps and laps. And kids would walk by and laugh at me because, like, here I am in the yard after school, running laps and sweating and in the grass doing sit-ups, trying to lose weight. This is crazy. Wow, this was my room. This seems so much smaller than what I remember, though. It's crazy. This was my sister's room. I remember she used to, I loved being a little brother. She was so mean. But I remember her calling me in the sweetest voice, "Lloyd, come here," only to tell me, "Can you cut my light off for me?" Oh yeah, I deserve some brownie points because she was quite the mischievous one. I'm pretty sure she snuck out that window and I did not tell. Put that on record. You snuck out a lot of times and I did not tell on you. I was actually the good kid. I remember that little boy, lost, confused, feeling unseen, feeling unheard, all those things. Struggling with the fact that my real father has been gone most of my life in prison. And even when he's out, he's addicted to drugs. I think about that little boy that was molested by a family member and for years hid it because I felt disgusting, I felt unworthy. And who was gonna believe me? I remember even thinking so deeply about how would it feel just to be happy? I didn't even know what true happiness was. And I remember this little boy being in his house and just feeling so alone and wondering if people actually saw me or was I just an afterthought. And it wasn't until I was 14 years old that I had an uncle that came and got me and started to take me to church. And I was trying to just get away from the abuse and the chaos of the household that I was in. And I spent a year just going and listening and falling asleep until one day I heard the gospel. And I remember that day so clearly. It was like I heard the name of Jesus for the first time and everything I needed and more was in that name. And this 14-year-old boy began the relationship that would forever change and shape who I am today. So this brokenness all collided and it gave birth to me, a boy named Lloyd from the outskirts of St. Louis, Missouri. God found me and he showed me a love that's so deep, that's so fierce, that's so overwhelming that it's even hard now even trying to express the direct opposite of what I experienced while I was living in this house. And I remember so vividly the different plot twists that took place in my life you cannot explain. That to this day, there are so many things that I can say that were divine interactions from God that set me on a course to where I am now. And even after high school and going to college for music, and after college I taught high school, and I thought I was on this path to just like I was over the hump of all the pain and the hurt. And on my 26th birthday, my mom passes from cancer. And it was one of the most devastating things that I have ever experienced in my life. And I instantly fell back into the pits of depression that I felt as a kid. The very place I thought I escaped, I somehow ended back in. And in that time, I even became suicidal. I wanted to take my life because it was like all the hope that I thought I tasted and seen was snatched away from me in a moment, in an instance. But God has strategically placed people in my life, like my wife, and she helped me live again. She helped me see that there's still hope and living and other divine connections and people that God placed in my life that didn't let me die to my sorrow and my grief, but they got me up and when I couldn't walk, he put people on both sides of me to help me walk and help me live and help me see that there's still purpose. And I began to experience joy like never before. But also there was this fire for life and this overwhelming ambition for the hope that was before me just came alive in me. And I began to write songs that told of this goodness and this hope that I was finding in Jesus. And I can promise you, I have never known joy so deeply than I do now. So when you listen to my music, they're not just lyrics and empty melodies, but they're filled with hope. Hope in knowing that no matter where you are, no matter what you've experienced, there's a God that wants to enter into your story. And I promise you, he makes beauty from ashes. He does all things well. That he's not done with you. He's not done with your story. And it amazes me that everything that I wanted and everything that I sought after being seen, heard, and known is exactly what God has called me to be to this world. And I pray that when you listen to my music, that you know that you are loved, that you're seen, that you're known. And there's no greater love than the love of Jesus.